Very good.
Meeting is now streaming live of the East Springfield Neighborhood Council Board and Police Beat Management Team meeting.
Okay. Okay, we are now officially live. I'm just gonna go through quick here, let everybody know. Thank you all for joining today. We are going to go through our regular agenda items, and then we are also going to cover the police beat meeting for Sector C. We will be taking questions through the live feed. We did receive some questions to the website and through the Facebook page already. So we will cover those at the end of the agenda and the police report. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to type them in at any time. As long as we're live, we will answer those questions. If we get them afterwards, we'll address them through like a communication to you, separately after the meeting. Thank you all for joining. At this time, I will turn the meeting over to Kathy. And 1 second here. There we go.
Thank you very much. Again, welcome to the Sector C and the East Springfield Neighborhood Council Board meeting. As we always do, would we please start this meeting with a pledge to the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation,
indivisible,
with
liberty
and justice for all.
Thank you. An announcement that we have from the mayor's office. Mayor Sarno is asking all city residents and businesses to join together in an act of solidarity by displaying blue ribbons of hope and/or hearts on their doors to show our support for our healthcare professionals and frontline personnel during these extremely challenging times. Neighborhood Council Board has embraced this concept, and we encourage everyone in the neighborhood to do the same. Thank you. Next. We lose you, Guy?
I don't know.
Guy? Did we
Can
lose
you hear?
Guy? Well, I'm sure he's trying to get back on. I would like to welcome everybody to the board meeting. And I know we do have a quorum here, and we're calling the meeting to order, and we certainly do have a quorum. Included in our group tonight would be Marie Koski, Lucy Champagne, is going to join us shortly, Shay, Brenda Spalding, Guy Kennison, Lynn Burnett, and myself, Kathy Brown. We also have some members from the police department and the sheriff's department, and they will get reintroduced in a few minutes, but we actually have with us tonight Lieutenant Ariel Toledo, Officer Julio Vasquez, and Sue Haley Arce, who is our community police liaison. Welcome. And also welcome to Charles Rux from the Sheriff's Department. We have, Guy?
I was just gonna say, you can see the agenda now, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I can now, thank you. The agenda tonight is, it looks lengthy, but it's fairly short. So let me just start. We have, obviously, because of the times that we are in right now, we do have significant program delays and cancellations of neighborhood council activities, but there is still a lot of work to do. Our cancellations obviously include our technology nights, which we do run at least once a month, our open office hours, our art grants projects, in terms of coming into the neighborhood council building and doing some art activities. Our business and community fair, it will not be happening in May. Our Check Your Speed events won't be happening until further notice. Obviously, our April cleanup will not be happening, but we do encourage people to step out of their front door and do whatever they can do in their own yards. And National Night Out, which is usually scheduled for the first week in August, will not be happening this year at that time. We will let you know when we have clearance to schedule some activities. At this point, we do not even have access to the building, and that's for people's safety. But if anybody needs to connect with us, just connect with us and we'll give you an update on what's going on. Next item on the agenda is the Community Preservation Act deadline was extended, and we are just about done, more than 90%. And we are going to submit that grant to the city within the next couple of days. We actually have two submissions, and we want to make sure that everybody is aware that we're applying for, through the Community Preservation Act, a grant for a walking loop around Marshall Roy Park. It's been something that's been requested for several years in its time, and we're looking for funding for about $101,550 for that project. The other project that we're looking for is a splash pad and spray structure at Marshall Roy, and that has a price tag of about $245,800. There are two grants that we're submitting. As I said, they are both very competitive grants. We're hoping to prevail. And we're excited about these grants, and they are based on community and citizen input in terms of the need. Any board member have anything to say on that? Okay. And just an announcement, we know that the Springfield Shopping Plaza comes up frequently at our meetings, and we've started a new procedure in that we are meeting, meaning East Springfield Neighborhood Council, the Hungry Hill Neighborhood Council, and Mike Fenton, who is the city councilor for our ward. We are meeting with the plaza management via telephone once a month to address issues that have come up, including potholes and missing traffic signs, etc. So if anybody has anything you want us to put on our agenda, we usually meet the second week of the month for those meetings. So just get that information to us through the social media. The next item that I have on the agenda is we are continuing to do resident and business outreach. If you don't believe we have your email, and if you want to send it to us, we will put you on the email list so that you will get advanced notification of programming as we reinstitute programming. And we also are trying to get our business list together, because as grant opportunities come available for our businesses, particularly as they relate to the pandemic, we want to make sure that the East Springfield businesses get notified as soon as possible. So we're excited in doing that. The next item on the agenda is city services are still operating. There has been some confusion about that. Some of the residents think that City Hall is closed. You can't walk into City Hall and take care of business, but you can through using 311, or you can connect with the city departments to get whatever services you need to have from the city. They've been extremely accommodating. 311 has been valuable in terms of turning in potholes so far. Some of the potholes have already been dealt with. I think the only city service that's not really started right now is the new sidewalk crew for this year hasn't been initiated, because they need 5 people on those sidewalk crews. So they're trying to figure out a way of social distancing and still have those crews operational, but they're working on that, and I'm told they're going to be out very soon. I was advised that I should remind people to call 311 and call and get bulk pickup. All of the yard waste is happening. It's about a half a day behind, so don't be concerned if your trash can is still out there, your leaves are still out there a few hours after they're supposed to be picked up. Zoning and code issues. There's a charter school. It's called Springfield Prep Inclusion School, and they are looking to go into a site on Roosevelt Avenue next to the Big Y headquarters, and they are requesting a meeting with us. And we are going to have the meeting. We are going to use a digital format. The meeting may very well be in 2 weeks. I'm waiting for confirmation from the management. And as soon as we get confirmation, we'll get that word out if anybody is interested in being a part of that meeting. I'm hoping that it will happen at the first Tuesday of May, which is our regularly scheduled board meeting. Also, Palmer Paving is requesting a variance from the city zoning ordinance to erect a membrane structure in order to keep materials from getting wet. And this is something that's required by the DOT. So we're awaiting scheduling on that meeting also with the Palmer Paving people. Okay, I am now going to turn this meeting over to John Koski, who's the chairperson of our Community Police Management Team. John, you want to take the next item, please?
Yeah, I just wanted to talk first about our speed boards. Some of you, or many of you, may be aware or not that we have purchased through a grant that we got, that we received 3 radar speed boards. They're the solar powered type. Like if you've driven in Chicopee, you'll see them in Chicopee. They're very, very similar to the ones that they do have in Chicopee. Those have been delivered to the DPW, and we are in communication with the DPW around getting those installed. They'll be doing that for us. So the date of when that's going to happen is a TBD right now. So with that, I'd like to welcome everybody to tonight's Police Beat Team Sector C community meeting. And we're especially appreciative of the representatives we have here from the police department and from the sheriff's department in this, our first virtual meeting, electronic meeting, getting everybody hooked up and going. So we're glad that folks from the police department and the sheriff's department are able to be here and update us on what's going on in the neighborhood. So again, I know Kathy, you introduced folks quickly a little earlier. I'd like to just reintroduce who we have here tonight. From the police department, we have Lieutenant Ariel Toledo. We have Officer Julio Vasquez, our ordinance officer, and Sue Haley Arce, who is our community police liaison. And from the sheriff's department, we have Charles Ruck. So welcome all of you. And I'd like to, if I could, Lieutenant Toledo, if you'd like to now, give us a little bit of feedback on crime activity in the neighborhood over the past month or so.
Okay, good evening. Before I start with the stats, I would like to let you know there have been some changes. A lot of people have been complaining about the traffic, that they don't see us putting cars over and stuff. But that's because of a plan. Our commissioner, Claproot, she has implemented a lot of changes to try to preserve our numbers so we don't lose all the officers at the same time during this COVID pandemic. Some of the changes she has done, she has changed all the 2-man cars there. She converted them to 1-man cars to create distance. That way, if we get one officer, if one officer gets the COVID, we only lose 1 instead of 2. We're also taking most minor reports over the phone. So people can call 750-2525. And also in some calls, to try to keep proper distances, if let's say somebody calls from a victim, there's like 10 people inside the apartment, we want our officers to tell the people that call to go outside, to preserve the victim. Don't think that the officer is being rude. That's just one of the changes. And also, we are trying to minimize the discretionary activity like traffic, because we're focusing more on the bigger things like calls, domestics, serving 209A restraining orders, keeping track of our sexual offenders. So that's why in reality our tickets have gone way down through this thing. I know a lot of people are complaining about that. And after saying that, let me go to the stats. It's been a quiet month in the Charlie sector in Springfield. There were 3 felony calls, as you can see on the sheet. The rape, that was a domestic, and we made an arrest. The robbery, there was no arrest made. Aggravated assault, it was a domestic, and they arrested the subject. There were 5 shots fired calls, but 3 of them were unfounded. 3 of them were the bikes. That's a big problem now. We're getting an increase in those kids riding the dirt bikes all through the city. Usually between the groups 4 to 10, just going to bikes. They know we cannot chase them for misdemeanors and for traffic, So that's a big problem. And we need the citizens to help us. If you see where they're keeping and storing the dirt bikes and all those cars, all those vehicles, please call 911, let us know, because we cannot chase them. So it's easier to catch them in the backyards, in the garages. And so it hasn't been that bad, except for those, those calls about the kids in the dirt bikes. So that's all that I have. And Julio can talk about the ordinance matters.
Leo,
I
you
have a
wanna-
few things to discuss. 211 Davis Street, I am monitoring for the drug activity in the go-karts. There was a 311 complaint about the go-karts. I'm not sure if it's coming from the end of Davis Street, middle of Davis Street, or the beginning of Davis Street, but I am doing DPRs in that area. I got a 311 complaint about tires on Stanley Street. Clean City came by and picked those up already. And Mr. Koski, your thing with Rathbun Street, I took care of that unregistered car, and now it's on the vehicle. Now it's on the road with the registration and insurance. So you're all set there.
Yes, yep, I saw that. Thank you.
And pretty much that's all I have right now.
Okay, so then, Sue Haley, anything that you'd like to report out? I know that you're the author of all these nice maps that will be posted online for folks to look at.
Let me just remove this for a moment. Hello, good evening. So thank you very much. So yes, we just want to just make sure to remind everyone to adhere to all social distancing recommendations, and not only for yourself, but to also keep everyone else safe. And as Lieutenant Toledo mentioned, I think it's very important that we all know about the importance of using our report line. Due to the fact of COVID-19, it's very important that we still are able to assist the residents and the community members as best as we can. And officers are still working very diligently to make sure that our streets are maintained safe and handling quality of life issues. So with that being said, just information on the coronavirus disease and how to keep yourself safe, such as please wash your hands often with soap and warm water for at least 20 seconds. Avoid touching your hands, nose, and mouth, which is extremely important. Clean things that are frequently touched, like doorknobs and countertops and household things with household cleaning wipes. Please cover your mouth when you cough or sneeze. Most importantly, please stay home if you're sick. This is, very important for everyone that is around you, whether at work or in the grocery store. Testing is also very important. Please visit the Massachusetts Department of Public Health for information on where testing sites are available if needed. And of course, please avoid large gatherings if you're at high risk, such as populations as older adults, anyone with underlying health conditions such as heart disease, lung disease, or diabetes, or anyone with a weakened immune system is also very important, as well as anyone who may be pregnant. And on the screen, you can see information for resources that are available to everyone about how to stay safe and what measures to take to make sure that everyone around us stays safe as well. I also want to let you know that the city's Department in Health of Human Services has activated a 24/7 hotline that's available for residents. And residents can call 413-750-3250 for information and updates regarding any latest developments on COVID-19, any questions or any information that you may be looking for as well. And also, as well as Kathy mentioned, using 311 call center is extremely important, and they are still open. We are also receiving phone calls for quality of life issues at our ordinance department. So if you'd like to get a hold of me or speak to anyone in the ordinance office, you can very well do so by dialing 413-787-6341. And that's all I have for you this evening.
Quick question, Sue Haley, just because I want to put it in the feed. That number was 413-750.
3250.
3250. And what was that number again?
For the health departments and human services 24/7 hotline that's available for any COVID, any latest developments for any COVID-19 related questions or information.
Okay, perfect. I put that into the feed. Okay, before I go to the question and answers, John, did you have anything else you needed to cover? Or did anyone else from the police department or sheriff's department have anything?
Yes, Charles, do you have anything from the sheriff's department?
Just, I just asked that somebody email me the report that we just went over. That's, for my records.
Consider it done.
Thank you.
Very good. So I think at this point, Guy, any questions that are coming in through the Facebook feed that we would want
Okay.
to address now?
So we had a couple of questions coming through the Facebook feed. I'm going to go over the police beat questions first. We had a couple that were submitted to Facebook or the website earlier, and then I'll go through the ones that just came in. So the lieutenant already covered one of them, which was speeding and how there's changes being made and things being done right now. And also the bikes. So I won't go through those ones because he touched base on those. Another question that came in was, how is the enforcement going on the new cell phone laws?
Yeah, all traffic calls have gone way down right now. So we hasn't even started, to be honest.
Okay, and then the next question was, there was a question about some activity that happened recently. Some of it wasn't quite to this report because it was so new. It was in the Detroit Street and Fordham Street area, but we did get that information submitted to the neighborhood council, and we did submit that to the police department. So I know that they're looking into that. And we did talk to the lieutenant just before this as well. I didn't know if you want to touch base on it, or did that cover that?
Yeah, no, that happened after midnight. So the lieutenant in the dog watch that to take care of that, I'm sure he's going to do that special attention in the area, at least.
Okay, perfect. Now there was a question that came in yesterday about for ordinance, a TV on the tree belt for the last couple months on Edendale Street, and provided the address right before the meeting. Somebody also put a similar question in the feed. If it is the one on Edendale Street, then we did send over the address and provided that to the ordinance officer prior to this. If it's a different one, we'll be live for probably another 2 minutes. So you could send that back or send it to us afterwards. Another question that came in for police related that was on there was, there was a large gathering around O'Brien's Corner. Doesn't say the details for what day. I think I did see something on Nextdoor for that this past weekend.
Mhm.
I know it wouldn't be on this month's police report because that ended for the 11th, but they wanted to make sure that was brought to the lieutenant's attention, and then asked to have that update and address what happened with that for the next meeting. Would that be okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
There was like
Having trouble
100
hearing you,
cars.
Guy.
What was that?
I said there was like 100 cars around there between Watling Street, Ivan Street, O'Brien's extra parking lot. It was awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know. There was a wake for the kid that got killed from the shooting last Friday.
Mhm.
Yeah, but there were like 50 people there. A lot of them gang members, but they were not real. They were behaving. They were just, doing like the little wake. We had cruisers there for 2 hours because to make sure there wasn't going to be no drive-bys from the other gangs that they knew about it. We were hearing that there might be a drive-by, so we had 2 of our cruisers there and 2 stadies right there through the whole, the last 2.5 hours. And we prevented any shootings. For the most part, everybody behaved, So we knew about it.
Well, that's good you were on top of it.
Okay, then we had
Anything else?
there was a question that came through with ordinance, on that ordinance. This was actually like a DPW related question that just came in the feed. So I don't know, Kathy, It was how long after something is been put on the tree belt or reported do they take to pick it up?
Is the question when does the DPW pick it up after it's been reported?
If they make arrangements with DPW, they have to put it out the night before. And
So I think
most days are Thursdays.
Right, so I think the answer, that's correct. It's not that the DPW will just go by and pick it up. The DPW
No,
will
they have
go
to
by
have
and
a
pick it
yellow
up with the
tag
tag.
that they buy a big Y, and they have to make arrangements with DPW for them to pick it up.
Yeah, I'm not sure from the feed if it's how the process is addressed or if there was an issue. I asked for the person who's asking the question, if you can send us the detail. I know we did have the one for Edendale Street for the TV, and that's been recorded, and we'll make sure that that is submitted as well, and the ordinance officer knows. If there's a different one that you're asking about, if you could send us the details either through contact@myesnc.com, of course, submitting through 311 through phone or the app, or if you could send it through a private message on the Facebook page, then we can submit that at long and keep track of it. But I'm not sure how the question is
Guy,
written,
Okay.
what it is. Yeah,
Guy,
Edendale Street, I am aware of the issue. I've issued them 2 ordinance violations. I'm in the process of communicating with code enforcement to see if the house is vacant or not, and see if anyone's getting their mail.
but if it's the question I'm looking at, Guy, it looks like the question is, if something's dumped, all right, if something's dumped on my tree belt, how long does it take to have dumped items removed? I mean, I shouldn't have to get a yellow tag. If someone dumps a mattress on my tree belt, I shouldn't have to go out and get a yellow tag. I guess that's how I'm reading the question, and I may be mistaken. But if it's not your item, what does it take to get it picked up?
Does somebody have any answer for that? My feed is fading out, so, can you hear me?
yeah,
Yes.
we
People
can
hear
hear
me?
you.
Oh, okay, because my feed is fading out. So I think the question is, if something's dumped on my, tree belt, how do I get it taken care of? And I see that, Sue Haley, are you putting down for people to give you a call?
Absolutely.
Sue,
Anyone
yes.
can ask me any questions about what the process might look like. I can assist them with those questions and direct them to the proper individuals if they need any additional assistance.
I think that makes perfect sense, Sue Haley, because every case is different.
Yes,
you.
and every situation I think is also different as well. And just having that communication with that person to make sure that we know that they are trying their very best to take care of it. And we can all work together to take care of those issues.
Very good.
Well, thank you for asking the question, whoever asked it. I don't have all that in front of me. Okay,
All right,
any other
and then
questions, guys?
The last one we had was brought up at the end of the last meeting, which is CRC working on fixing their fence?
Yes, it did come out at the end of the last meeting, and I did reach out to the management at CRRC. They actually reached back out to me after my phone call, and they are closed for about another 8 or 10 days. And they have contracted with somebody to fix it. And as soon as they get back on site, they will let me know what the actual installation schedule is. And they apologized for it being a lengthy process. That big fence on Page and Stevens Street got knocked down by a plow, and the other across from Dunkin' Donuts did get knocked down even before that. So I think it was early December. So they apologize for that, but they did tell me to assure people that they are on it and they'll be back in touch with me. Thank you.
Kathy,
guys.
do you know what that big dirt pile is at that place?
The dirt pile at
Yeah, at
Say it
CRRC?
again?
Yeah, as I remember back when they presented plans to build CRRC, one of the criteria, one of the things they committed to do was to keep all soil on property. No soil would be removed from the property, that it would be banked. And that's, if you've watched that over time, that particular berm or hill that they've had there, they've regularly landscaped that, and they've taken it down, they've added to it. So it's It's material that they've excavated from the other building that they've erected.
Okay,
And other work they've done around the property that they're now putting onto the hill that was there, that was pre-existing, and they're just grading it and, you know, keeping it in place. That's what I understand they're doing there based on, now it's probably a couple of years old information.
yeah, that makes sense.
You are correct, John. And part of our conversation with them before they built there was for them to attempt to keep that berm fairly significant because it's an excellent noise buffer from the highway. So that was all strategic.
Oh, very good.
Kathy, did you find anything about the excavation on Cadwell Drive?
I do not know what is going on. It's down Cadwell Drive on the left-hand side. I do not know anything about that excavation.
Okay.
Thank you. Anything else, Guy?
I think that covers everything. If I'll just say the minutes from tonight will go up to the website, and also the presentation that was put up will be going up to the website under the meeting minutes section as a PDF. So the presentation will be up very shortly. The minutes will be up as soon as they are prepared. If any other questions come in, we will monitor that later tonight to either address them at the next meeting or address them before then, depending on the timing and urgency. We will continue to follow up on the items that were brought up tonight to make sure that they get resolution. And the last thing is, if anyone has any questions or anything they want to bring up for the next meeting will be held on May 5th at 6:30 p.m. And we will compile them like we did today and have them ready. So that's what I'll say. So if Kathy or anyone, Kathy, do you want to close out the feed or anything else you want to cover?
And does anybody have anything else they need to say? Any of the board participants? Anybody from the police? No?
Nope.
You're good? Okay. Well, I want to thank everybody for participating in the first community beat management team viral meeting. Is that what it's called? Virtual meeting, virtual meeting. And thank you very much. Thank you very much for coming. I knew I was going to say that wrong, but thank you very much for coming. Thank you for listening in. And please, every single thing that you bring to our attention is important. And we want to be sure that you're heard. So if for some reason we missed something tonight and you have a question, as Guy said, forward it along to us and we will make sure that you get a response back if we can connect to you through social media, or we will get the information to the appropriate department. But thank you very much. Your issues are extremely important. Thank you very much to everybody. I think I'm going to sign off of the meeting. If other people who are, we're going to go off the live feed. And we'll just, if the group could just hang tight for about 3 minutes. Thank you very
All
much.
right, well, I'm signing off. Everybody have a good evening.
Thank you, Charles.